Losing a pet, any kind of pet, is super hard. It's probably one of the hardest things pet parents have to go through.
My first family pet that I lost, so it was me, my husband, and my daughter. So it was all of us together as a family, and losing that pet was an event, and it's something we will never forget. And it did bring us closer, but it was a grief, and I think we all know what that feels like.
And for me, I always grew up with pets, but they were mostly my parents' responsibility. So when I went to college, I got a fish. And that fish traveled with me all over the place. He went home for the holidays. So when I finally lost him after college, it was tough. And my parents and my sister and my boyfriend at the time, we all actually got together and performed a little ceremony for him in honor of his life.
And to honor the lives of pets that people have lost, families, individuals, there is a day called Rainbow Bridge Remembrance Day, and it was founded in 2015 by Deborah Barnes, and she is an award-winning author and blogger, and her blog is Z and Zoe's Cat Chronicles. And she shared on that day the journey of letting her cat, Mr. Jazz, go. She even wrote a book about it, which I have. It's called Prints of a Cat's Tale of Life, Death, and Beyond. And his passing was on August 28th. So each year on August 28th, we celebrate Rainbow Bridge Remembrance Day. And we reached out to Deb because to start something like that takes a lot, right? You have to put focus into it and think about it and celebrate it each year, which means finding the happy memories and sharing those as much as you share the heartache and heart loss. And so we wanted to know from her, what is it like to celebrate this day each year?
Hi, Chloe and Jessica. Thanks for having me on and for the great question. It's actually a tough one to answer because not only am I reliving the loss of my own pets, dogs, cats, bunnies, fish, frogs, and hamsters, but as founder of the day, I'm absorbing the loss of pets worldwide as people share memories, pictures, blog posts, and more. I had no idea just how significant the day would become when I founded it in 2015 in tribute to the loss of my ragdoll cat, Mr. Jazz, who I had to say goodbye to on August 28, 2013. It's growing astoundingly in reach and impact every year, and I take great pride in the day, knowing how special it is. I do my best to comment on every post I see on social media, on blog posts and more, so that at the end of the day, it's quite emotionally exhausting for me, as you can imagine. But it's also joyous, touching, and beautiful as people open up their hearts, and the outpouring of love, compassion, and support I see from people, many virtual strangers to one another, never ceases to amaze me in its poignancy. It's like a virtual hug across the world, and for that, it makes any sadness I might feel worth it and the reason the day was created.
It means a lot to have a day set aside to just remember pets that have touched our lives. And so I think it's a really great reason for why Rainbow Bridge Remembrance Day exists. And again, it's August 28th every year. So you can participate by sharing the stories of pets you've lost. For me, sharing stories of Ro, my little beta fish, it helps me remember how he helped me through college, and he was my buddy, and he would help me relieve some stress just on, those really hard days. So I'm definitely going to be sharing stories of him this coming August 28th.
The whole idea of the Rainbow Bridge is that your pets go to the Rainbow Bridge to wait for you. And then when you join them, you cross the Rainbow Bridge together. So Rainbow Bridge Remembrance Day is about remembering all of the pets currently waiting at the Rainbow Bridge. And when I think about that and I think about how do I honor the memory of Resner, my first, not my very first pet, but as an adult with a family, it was our first family pet, the first dog I got to experience having with my husband and my daughter. And there's so many happy memories in that, and yet it always touches a part of my heart that reminds me of the sadness. And I think that that's okay. It's part of the whole process. I don't think you're supposed to get over it, like some people may say. Our pets become a part of us. Helen Keller said it best. She has a little quote that I like to share with people when they lose a pet, and I might be paraphrasing slightly. What we have once enjoyed and deeply loved, we can never lose, because everything we love deeply becomes a part of us. And I think that speaks so well to what our pets mean to us when they move on.
Absolutely. And we reached out to friends in the pet industry, to two of them who have done something very special to honor their pet's memory. So here's what they had to say.
I finally feel a little bit of closure now, knowing that I've honored Sherman and Leroy in a wonderful way, and then they're always with
You know,
me.
you're taking something like a really sad moment, or it's just generally sad in every way and form, but you know, seeing the really pretty flowers, it's really nice to like, oh yeah, I remember, you know, the good times.
I think we can all relate to all the feelings that we're talking about because pets just mean so much. And we really want to spend some time talking about the different ways that you can honor the memory of your pet. A lot of people nowadays will have their pets cremated. Still, some of you I know live in places that you can bury them and you choose to do that. But there's a lot of people who cremate, I think partially because we're moving around more than we used to. I know I've always cremated pets so that I can keep their ashes, maybe do something special with them. But one of the things that happens during that is your vet will usually give you the option of having a paw print. This is probably hard to see, but this is Resner's paw print. And it came to us a little bit not fully hardened so that we could write in it. So I wrote his name in it, and then I wrote the day that we lost him and how old he was. He was only 5. This is part of what I keep. I also have his ashes, and I think you can get nice little things to hold the ashes in. But this is, I think, an easy ask of your vet is for the paw print. And if I'd be surprised actually if most of them don't just offer it, because I think that's pretty normal now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. When my family dog Keto passed away a few years ago, my parents actually were able to get multiple. So they have one, I have one, and then my sister has one. But it has his name in it. I think they even did they had like a heart cookie cutter and they cut it like a little inset out of it. But it's something that I display. Just seeing it, I remember the good times, the memories with him.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's like a key point of all the things we're going to be talking about. It's really about finding ways to honor the memory that's happy. I don't necessarily want to look at this and remember how I lost Resner. I might, and I might be connected to that, but what I do is sort of charge it with, nope, this is happy stuff. So I just like to think about the effect that he had on our family, and those are the happy memories. We really want to try to figure out how can we do things that constantly remind us of the happy times.
And I think part of that is coming up with ideas, whether it's a project or it's something you purchase that's beautiful, and it's not innately sad like the actual act of losing a pet.
Right.
So one of the other things that we talked about is planting a tree. And Chloe, I know that that's something you're excited about. Well, I don't know if excited is quite the right word, but you're interested in.
I am. I love the idea of planting something and that it grows and sort of, it's being like nourished in a sense, even though I know like if I was to take my cremated pets, their ashes aren't direct nourishment, but like you can put ashes in soil and then plant a tree. There's actually even companies out there who you can send your ashes to, and they will mix it and have a little seedling and everything and send it back to you so that it's easier for you to just plant said tree with the ashes. And then as that grows, you can always remember your pet. That's like becomes in essence the memory of your pet. I feel like I would take care of that tree a lot better than maybe I take care of my other plants. And so I think that's why it makes me excited. It's this idea that something else is continuing to grow. I like that.
Yeah, I love that too. And I think with a tree, it's more permanent. It's something that lasts a really long time. But if a tree is not the right option for you, you can also plant a garden. And that can be a vegetable garden, a flower garden, a bush garden, any kind of garden. That does require you to obviously have some land that you can dig into. But we spoke with one person, Abby Chestnut of Healing Whiskers, who doesn't have that capability. She doesn't have the ability to plant her own garden because she's currently renting and is going to most likely move. So when she lost one of her rats, which, yes, rats, and we're not just talking dogs and cats here, she decided to make a memorial garden in a large flower pot. And we'll let her tell you about that.
I have pet rats, and so they're very small, and I'm in a rental house, so I can't really go into the ground. What I've done is I've gotten a really big planter and I buried my pets in there. You can use seeds or get like actual plants already that are bloomed and everything, put them in there. It's super, super easy. With this, I'm able, like if I move and everything, I could take this with me. You can also do this if you have cremated remains. You can also like mix it in with the soil. So I would recommend doing a memorial planter poster for anybody who has small animals, including exotic animals, pretty much anything. Even if you have a larger dog or any other kind of large animal, like I said before, you can use cremains and mix them with the soil. If you're renting or you don't have a place to bury your animal or you don't want to do the urns, this is a really, really great idea.
I love that Abby came up with something that's movable, like portable, like she can take with her places, because I think a lot of people are in that situation where they're renting and moving place to place, or younger, like thinking about you in college with your fish. That would have been really hard to bury your fish somewhere that wasn't home, right? I think it's a little different when we have, family that we can put it in the yard and we know they're not moving. We all have those family members that never move. But I think younger generations and a lot of people tend to move. So portable options feel like a good choice.
Absolutely. And with Ro, I definitely didn't bury him in my apartment complex that I only lived in for 1 year. He resides in my parents' backyard, and the reason I felt comfortable is that they've lived there since 1996. So they're going to be there for a while. But there are tons of other things that you can do, you can create, you can buy. One of my favorites is a shadow box. And so I created this as a demo. My Luna here is still very much with me. I just wanted to make that crystal clear. But this is an example of a photo of Luna and then her collar. It's a great way to, again, remember the happy times and also honor something she wore every day, and that was a part of her when she is here.
Yes. She is still there. She's actually in the room right now with Jessica.
She is. I think she sighed recently.
So yeah, I love that. And I think for people who are crafty, something like that might be a really great relief kind of thing. Not that you won't feel any sadness while you're doing it, but like happy at the end in the sense that you've got this memory and this thing that you created to help honor that memory of your pet. I feel like that's a good crafty.
And I feel like also part of the grieving process is, what do I do now with their collar? Or another thing you could put in here is their favorite toy. What do I do with that? It doesn't feel right to throw it away, to get rid of it. So put it on display and remember all the times that you played with that toy or went on a walk with that collar.
Yes. And one of the other things, this is for people who are kind of crafty, but it's a little bit more digital. Because as you know, there's like all the different ways you can make photo albums online, books online. This is an actual online book that was made for me in honor of Resner. And my mom actually made this for me and gifted it to me. So I guess if you are thinking about something like that, this was a nice gift. But, one of the things that we did, this is Resner in his last moments, and this is his favorite toy. So she mentioned favorite toy. If you don't shadow box it, we actually had it cremated with him because it's literally the only toy that lasted. He had that toy for years, and it was like $1 toy from like a cheap store. But he loved it.
It's always that way.
I know. We cremated him with that so that his ashes are with that. But this is a lovely, I'll be honest, when I first got this book, I looked at it and it was a little bit harder because it was still fresh. But now I look at it and I laugh. He actually liked wearing hats. He liked putting on hats.
That's amazing.
She pulled out so many of his quirks. He also liked opening Christmas gifts. And so I feel like if you can remember those quirks and those fun times and those funny things, that's when this becomes a wonderful option. Lots of photos, lots of things that make me smile and bring back all those memories.
And even now too, there's digital picture frames. You could get one that, it scrolls through with all of the photos of your pet when they were amazing. Photos are such a big thing, and that's another reason why you should just constantly take pictures of your pets. Don't feel bad if your cell phone's full of just pictures of your pets. But if crafting isn't for you, then there are plenty of services, plenty of products out there that you can buy to honor your pets. Some of these are just feature a photo. So I have this bracelet of Luna, and Luna, again, is still very much alive. But it's something that I can take, and it has her likeness, and I can wear it, and it can be close to me. There's also tons of types of jewelry out there where you can actually carry with you some of their ashes or even their fur or their hair, whatever you think is the best representation of them.
And I think with the ashes, they'll come to you from your vet in like a cardboard box kind of thing. You can always buy, I guess it's like an urn, although in the pet world, they're a little funkier. You can buy cute things and there's lots of options. So if you wanted to put that in something that more to you represented the personality of your pet, you could. And that way, at least you've got their ashes, not in the cardboard box, but in something that's a little bit more, not only personal to the pet, but in terms of what you remember when you see it, transports you maybe to a little bit more of a happy place. Which is our goal here, right? That's why we're talking about this, is because our pets make us happy. And even when they've moved on and they're waiting for us at the Rainbow Bridge, they would want us to be happy. So finding those happy times and remembering them with different things that make us, think about the happy times is important.
And I think too, with your vet, if you know that you want to do something with their ashes, you can often also ask for it to be separated, so you can have a smaller part, and then you can still keep the bulk of the remains in a beautiful display like Chloe was just mentioning. We do have another interesting topic we just recently found out about, and it's from Jen Costello, she writes the blog My Brown Newfies. Jen did a lot of research. She tried to find something that fit both her and her dogs, and she landed on getting a tattoo. And I thought that was so cool.
It makes me want a tattoo. Not really, because I don't want a pet to die, so I can get a tattoo. But it makes me feel like it's a great way to commemorate my pet.
Absolutely. And Jen's going to explain how her process went, but one thing to keep in mind is that you can actually get an invisible tattoo. So if you're not into the way tattoos look, you can actually still get it on your skin, but nothing's visible. So only you know it's there.
Which would mean only you know you're carrying around your pet with you, but it could still be special.
Yeah, let's let Jen tell you about her process and why she decided to get a tattoo.
So the process that I went through getting my tattoo was, first I talked to the company called Everence, and that's where the company that processes the ashes for you, they make it into a safe substance that can be added to any tattoo ink. So first I researched that, and I wanted to learn a little bit more to make sure that it was safe and what exactly the whole process entailed. And then I spoke to a local tattoo artist and asked him if he would do it. He wasn't familiar at all with the process, so I sent him over all the information, and he had never heard of it. So he said that was something really cool, and that it would be a lot easier than how they have to do it with just regular unprocessed ashes. And then what I did was I picked out a design of what I wanted for my tattoo. I wanted something a little bit smaller, but something that I could always see and touch too. Something, when I'm feeling down, when I'm missing them, I can just look at the tattoo, I can remember them, and I can touch it, and they're always right there with me. I would recommend this to anyone who is into tattoos, somebody that hasn't found the right way, I guess, to honor their pet. And what's cool about this is you don't even need to do it with ashes. You can also do it like with your existing dog's DNA. So if you have a really special dog that you wanted to do something to honor them, then you could use their DNA. So it doesn't have to be just for deceased pets, but it can also be for pets that are still with us. It means the world to me, knowing that they're always right by my side. They're not gone. They're always right here with me. Wherever I go, they go.
I still think that's such a cool way to honor your pet's memory. But obviously, tattoos are not for everyone. And there's really no right or wrong way on how to honor your pet's memory. And you also don't have to just pick one.
Right, because there are so many different options, going from just this to the book. Obviously, I've got two, so doing more than one is not a problem. I've also got ashes, so I could still choose to do more now if I'm ready. Maybe it takes you a little time and you need to set it aside and go back to it. And that's totally acceptable too. I think the point is there's no wrong way to honor your pet's memory, but these are just a few ideas for you to think about.
And if you learned of an idea that you would hope to use someday, or if you have something that we haven't talked about, a great idea that we overlooked, leave us a comment and let us know, because we would love this to be an ever-growing resource for people to find something that matches both themselves and their pets on how to honor them.
And if you like videos like this that are about the pets you love, then subscribe to our channel, because we want you to get them every time we publish a new one.